What is up, survivors? Today's mob review. We're going over the Valguero Dino and map extension. This adds a few creatures to the Valguero map and also a couple of tiny tweaks to the map in general as of right now. We'll definitely have a link to the workshop in the description of the video. So we're out here on Valguero, just hanging out right outside of the redwoods. We're gonna beam around the map, show you what creatures get added and generally where to find them. Manic Armors are going to be out here in the Arctic biome, and we're sort of close to the blue obelisk right here. You're going to see these guys scurrying around outside of here. He's clearly mad at me about something. I'm on admin mode, dude. You can't hurt me. I mean, good luck trying. You're just going to wear yourself out here. Anywho, they'll predominantly be up here right by the blue ob, so you're typically going to find them wandering around in this area in here. Pretty simple. These guys, and that's pretty much the only spot you're going to see these guys in, but you'll see them predominantly. I tend to find them more so where the original one was that we saw over here, and we got another one down here. It looks like that might have been the same one that jumped out. I'm not sure, but typically up against this edge, and then further up this way and that way is where you're going to see these guys spawning in at. Gasbags are going to be out in this tundra biome where you would normally find all the dire wolves and Uties and stuff like that, and we'll zoom out so you guys can see basically where we're at. This being the major water zone, that being the redwoods, up north being the frozen area. This tundra area that borderlines the snow, the redwoods, and a little bit of the green area over here, that's where you're going to find Gasbags. Kind of a hard one to tame out here, by the way, so definitely be cautious of that because there's a lot of hostile critters. You're going to see wolves out here, you're going to see Uties and Carnos and stuff like that, so it's a careful tame, but that's where you're going to find these guys at. Morellotops from Scorched Earth are typically going to be in the White Cliffs area, but normally you're going to find these guys more on higher ground. You're not going to see them at the low points of the White Cliffs, and we're all the way in the bottom corner of the map, basically. Not too far away from that ruined castle here, but predominantly you're going to find them in the upper elevation points, so Morellotops are definitely going to be a thing up here. The Dinosaurs are also going to be out here in this tundra area. The needle shooting guys from Extinction, they're going to be located out here in the tundra area as well. Same area that we talked about where the Gasbags are at, so that's typically where you're going to find these guys just hanging out. Still kind of solo running dinos, but you'll see them out here. We got one down here. I think there's another one up this hill too. Yep, we got another one just hanging out up here. So you'll find them both out here in the same tundra area, same area that we talked about with the Gasbags. Snow owls are something that also gets added to this mod. You'll typically see these guys in the Arctic, mainly around the forest trees area. Kind of south of Blue Ob, so Blue Ob's right about there. Over there's the Wyvern Trench, down here's the tundra. You're typically going to find them around this area wandering around, but basically anywhere that there's general tree forest life going on in the Arctic biome, they're prone to spawn there. Griffons are also going to be located on this map. Now, they're pretty much in any general mountain area, so any mountainy area. A couple of mountains out here in the green area, also the I think it's two mountains in the White Cliff area as well. They're going to be spawning out there. Just anywhere where you got a lot of elevation, that's where we're going to be hanging out at. An interesting addition to this mod, ice worms, death worms, but the ice variants that you found in the Ragnarok cave originally, they will be spawning out here in the Arctic biome. They're going to be out here in the ice trench, which is essentially this area down here that we're kind of looking at in our camera. It's between where the Wyvern Trench is at and then the general foresty area. This general area is where you're going to see these guys spawn in at. They're going to work just like the regular ice worms do, the regular death worms, I apologize. Just like the normal death worms, you'll be out here on foot and they'll pop up in front of you and you'll see the cloud and they'll come after you and pop up and fight you just like the other ones would. But they're definitely out here. Radiation zone is going to be adding rock drakes. There's going to be rock drakes down in here, and you're actually going to see the rock drake nests hanging out in these crevices on this end. The radiation zone to the aberration areas, what you're going to be looking for to find these guys in. It's kind of a trench at the bottom. At one end of the trench is this shape thing going on. I don't even know what to really call this thing, but anywho, there's nests on either side of the walls by it, and then as you work down the way, there's a few other trenches down here. On the other end of this trench is typically where you find like the element ore. You're not going to see very many nests on that end. The majority of your nests are all going to be in this one area. So yeah, you got rock drakes on the map as well. You'll typically see nameless down in this area too, so if you don't have a Shinehorn or some sort of glow animal, if you don't have some sort of glow animal with you, you're going to see nameless pop up here, and if you get too many of them, you could potentially get yourself a Reaper King. Queens do not spawn on this map. That is the one, basically the one creature that isn't on this map in its entirety. And there's one of the nameless right there getting angry at me. Featherlights. Particularly any glow animals, right? You're going to see all sorts of glow animals out here. Featherlights are going to be in this bio area zone, in this radiation zone. You're also going to see glowtails out here as well. And typically, Shinehorns are going to be found in more of your fertile areas. More of the green, nicer areas, typically where you're going to find these guys out here wandering around. So Shinehorns will spawn out in this fertile area. There's no real location that I've found that's like guaranteed to always have them. Typically, they kind of share spawns with other critters, so you might see them just wandering around on their own pretty much in any place in this fertile area. So definitely do a lot of searching, but be careful because basilisks are also out here. And they predominantly spawn in like the wooded areas of the fertile region. Definitely more of like the forest sections I've noticed for the most part. And then towards kind of like the outliers, that's pretty much it. This trench that I'm looking at right here, right now, is a little bit important. Now, while it's empty, it does lend itself to be useful if you're using another mod in conjunction with this one. This mod does add an Abberant Deinos, but it only adds the Abberant Deinos if you have another mod that's also installed on here. And we'll have a link in the description of to the video of that mod that you'll need, but basically you'll need both of those to work in order for the Abberant Deinos to spawn. But they typically spawn in this bottom trench and then on the other side of the map, but the link to the Steam workshop that we'll have in the description of the video will give you direct latitude longitudes for that point. As you can see, we currently have the holiday event running with the gacha claws, but normal gachas will also be out here in the Abberant area, typically up on these cliffs. These is another one that I only see in certain places. I think that's another gacha claws over there, but essentially anywhere you see the gacha claws at, there's a possibility of a regular gacha being at. This is another claws here. Looks like we got a claws down here, but I've seen gachas down in this area where you first come in below the rings from the jungle entrance, and then also up on this cliff as well. Gachas are here, but they're only in this aberration zone. That is pretty much it. That is the extension of this map. Now, again, we'll have a link to the description of the other mod that will add the Abberant Deinos for you. Another thing that I would definitely advise is if you are looking for mods to add all of the creatures to one map, kind of like this, I would highly advise also adding the Cross Genesis mod that we did a review on as well. That will add all the Genesis creatures as well, which means the Mega Shalons, the Bloodstalkers, the Magmasaurs, and even the Space Whales as well. They'll all be out here as well. Those two mods in conjunction with the third, again, we'll have a link to the description of the video of that one you need for the Abberant Deinos, will essentially make it so everything that's currently available in Ark would be available on here, with the exception of Reaper Queens. Reaper Queens wouldn't be on here, but with a simple spawners mod or something like that, you could easily add them in here. The only other thing that probably wouldn't be in here either would be like the robots. Typically, like, you know, the enforcers and defense units and things like that won't be in here, but if you're looking for all the critters, that's a pretty good way to do it. I think it's kind of mandatory for this map, basically because the spawning areas, especially having the aberrant zone, like, we should have had all the aberrant creatures on here. Anyway, guys, Valguero Dino and map extension mod. And again, we'll have a link to the Steam workshop page in the description of the video so you guys can check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you all in the next one.